want them to do a presentation on the process, that would be the night that they would
Okay.
do it. I need to know if that's something that we're still interested in having them do. So yes, so the school committee will get all of the candidate data on the 22nd. Training committee reps and volunteers, so that you have 2 days to review the information, and then we can vote on it on Thursday, the 24th.
Okay. Got it. And then if we want NESDEC to present, it would be that night as well.
Can we, how long do we have to give them notice to be able to present? Are they just available and we just?
Well, I mean, they're planning to be here to help us with the data anyway. You know, and go through the finalizing the candidate profile. So that they were the ones who said, if you want us to present, just, you know, let us know. I think it would, you know, the more time we can give them.
I think it's helpful, I think, for the community, because clearly we're kind of navigating this ourselves as well, and I don't know if we're doing the best job, all of, you know, trying to, you know, gather all and making sure it's out there. So I would maybe think that it might be a consideration that we would have them on the 24th.
Yeah, I think we should just bump something if we're doing looking at the rolling agenda.
I also don't, yeah.
So we could, I think
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
Yep.
If it makes sense, I think we should just.
Okay.
So you can just let them know that.
I think the community would like to hear it too. Just
Yeah.
honestly, we've been
I think so,
alluding
too.
to it, but we haven't had the full discussion. I think that would be very helpful for
Okay.
everyone.
So that's it for the superintendent search.
One more question.
Yep.
That you mentioned, and I want to make sure I understood. So, because I know at our last meeting, or what we had voted on the constituency groups, and I thought, because this was a lot of discussion, that we talked about they would pick some of their own representatives.
Some of the constituency groups pick their own.
Right.
Others volunteer. Like,
Okay.
obviously, there isn't an organized group of parents where everyone gets together and then they're gonna vote. Whereas CPAC is an organized group.
Right.
Where they can pick their representative.
But I thought you mentioned about needing to vote on something. Is that not the members for the screening committee?
Yes, we need to vote.
So we'll be
We
voting
need to vote
for-
to approve.
What they pick?
Right, right.
So like, so what they self-select from themselves, and
Well,
here it is.
or we also need to vote to approve the people who have volunteered and select them.
Okay.
So we need to, like, we'll have to go through. So far, there haven't been that many people have shown any interest, so we might not even make it to 13, I don't know, but, yeah, we need to approve the screening committee and vote on that to finalize it.
Okay, so I know there's emails going out. What other kind of communications are we able to do?
We've done press releases. Mary has been in charge of the press releases. Read the newspaper, go online, or check the website.
Does Boston Bean have one?
They don't, no. I mean, I could ask, I could just ask, you know, would you mind if I just tape this to your window? But-
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks for all your work.
Sure.
All right, so we have some marching orders for next time around, and we'll, we're going to get the needs assessment done. Thank you for all that work.
And so I know you mentioned that the RFQ hadn't gone out yet. Was there any conversation about when that would be going out, or no?
Well, our meeting actually happened before the Board of Selectmen meeting. Like, it was post Board of Selectmen where they withdrew it.
Right.
And then our meeting was pre-last school committee meeting
Got it.
and Board of Selectmen meeting, yeah.
Proceeding Tuesday.
Got it.
Mary
Thank
Jane, have you been able to keep meeting with the town administrator, with Greg?
I actually went to the town meeting with him, we met with him, when did I meet with him? Yesterday, I went to the town administration meeting, but we didn't talk much about that, was with the group. We are talking about November 5th.
Has not had a budget level conversation, because I think that was gonna be the October meeting, which we had planned before, but then you got an earlier deadline from November, so I'm just
No,
wanted to.
The October meeting was the meeting where we had the financing our strategic plan. That was the intention of having that school council meeting. was there. So that's when that was happening.
Um,
All of the school councils were supposed to come to the financing our strategic plan. As their school council meeting, principals were asked to notify school councils about that piece. So that's where that information was supposed to be discussed so that we could incorporate it into the presentation.
so at the strategic plan school council, we went to, we were supposed to be talking about school-specific.
No, we wanted to not
Priorities.
talk about school specific. We wanted to talk about district level needs and resources.
The different
Yeah.
aspects of the district-wide goals, and then you would be able to have the conversation within your
Like, bring it
committees
back.
as one as a whole, and then also within your committees, so that you could use that information to, you know, kind of guide your requests with like a better understanding of where we were aligned, where we weren't aligned, so it is as a whole district, not just within, you know, Green Meadow, Fowler, or the high school.
I think that was fantastic. I just worry about the timing is what I'm just trying to point
Right.
out, because I
So-
know
So
that
the timing, yes, we got.
the 18th now is their deadline, and
My
so.
deadline for the principals to submit their budgets is the
Right,
18th
so that's what I
now.
just try to highlight, is not that, it's that the opportunity for the school councils to meet again after
Right.
we've had that
Right.
doesn't look to happen.
Correct, and
So,
that's because, normally we don't have to submit our budget, by the charter, I believe, we don't have to submit our budget to the town, what's he called?
Town administrator.
Town administrator, sorry, I had town manager in my
I
head
see, I know,
now.
I don't know.
To the town administrator until December 31st. It was basically, we had to have it there by January 1st. He asked us for an October 30th deadline.
I just
which
think that
puts
it's.
us really
I
tight,
just-
but
yeah.
I will give, I did tell him we may not meet the October 30th deadline because we had already had our budget schedule set. But in the hopes that we would be able to get it to him as soon as possible.
Okay, so that's the only thing I wanted to
Yeah.
highlight, is just that opportunity to get that,
Yep.
for them to be able to share, because I think that was looking ahead at our calendar. They're supposed to be able to come present to us about their recommendations on the 24th, and I don't think that's gonna happen, because we won't be able to meet.
That's not what that presentation was. It wasn't the list.
No, on our
I understand. The
annual.
October 24th was not the presentation of individual school councils' desires or identification of needs for their individual buildings. The 24th was supposed to be a summary of the
You might not know that I start getting itchy
I guess
too
I thought
around
that
this
was gonna
time.
be discussed when we were discussing our committee and liaison roles